Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is in the world you're watching from. It's afternoon here now. It's 12:41 here. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the third session for the day two of the Muslimah Wordsmiths Writer Conference 2021. Apologies for our tardiness. We are a little bit late. We're like 12 minutes late, but we apologize for that. So we're just going to get this party started now. For our third session today, we will be having Sister Bilikis Morenike Mafe as a speaker. She's going to be talking about journaling as an important tool for capacity building. I'm going to go ahead and read out her bio and invite her onto the stream. Bilikis Morenike Mafe, also known as BiliMaffy, is an educationist. She is a writer, a speaker, and a student. She is a wife as well, a stay-at-home mom, a trained educator, communicator, and student. She's also a mental health enthusiast and a self-awareness and relationship mentor. She's a passionate writer, an aspiring author, and a striving Muslimah with a keen interest in personal growth and development. Our ultimate goal is to contribute positively wherever and whenever we can. Now, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Sister Balkis. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Hafsa.
Now,
Jazakallah khairan.
Jazakillah khairan for agreeing to come on for the second time in a row.
Alhamdulillah, it's a honor being here. I feel privileged. Thank you so much for inviting me and for giving me also this platform. Uh, Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah for His grace, and you're doing an incredible work. And we pray that Allah continue to make it easy on you and reward you for all the effort you're putting in. And also appreciation to all the sisters that's been with us from the inaugural session and up till now, and to all the sisters that's also delivered, you know, on different topics so far since yesterday. May Allah reward everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm eager to hear and to watch your presentation. So Bismillah, the stage is yours.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I greet everyone who is watching, and thankfully I'm getting the playful session. Because journaling can be fun, it can be fun. It depends on what you make of it. And I'm an avid journaler. You can add that word to your dictionary. I coined it, so you're allowed to use it. So, okay, let's get started without wasting much of our time. Okay, so what is journaling? And it's a simple thing, and just free writing, journaling. Just give a basic definition to say that journaling is an informal writing that allows you to be expressive in whatever form you choose. It could be a daily journal, weekly or monthly. You decide the pace and format. So, most of us, maybe one way or another, we've even tried to journal something. We might not even recognize that we're journaling, but if you're someone who likes scribbling things down, like, I don't want to forget this. So you've already started journaling without even realizing it. So I welcome you to this interesting topic, journaling. So, like I said, it's an informal writing, and it gives you the platform to self-express, no holds barred. Like, absolutely anything that comes to your mind, you can write about it. You can write about what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you see around you, in whichever format and in whatever notebook, paper, anything, like if you're doing it on a regular basis or habitually, that is journaling. It doesn't have any structures. There are no rules, no regulations. Like you don't have to use big grammar and anything. That's and it's a hobby. You can develop uh, journaling as a hobby, like I did. So it's a form of free writing without strict techniques. The motive is basically to express your thoughts, ideas, plans, and so on. And I like this quote. This quote by William Wordsworth. It says, "Fill your paper with the breathings of your heart." Like I said, whatever comes to your mind, scribble it down. Like you are thinking of it, get a pen and paper. The traditional way, you just before you know it, the thoughts will just keep flowing, and then you can keep writing. So a journal is completely unuttered, is your unuttered voice. Just to buttress what I said, is your unuttered voice. There is no filtering, no filters. Just as you feel it, you express it. That's what journaling is about. Now, let's talk about the different types of journaling. Um, we have bullet journaling. We have money pages, vision or goals journal, meditation journaling, creative journaling, travel journal, gratitude journal, food or recipe journaling, weight control and nutritional journaling, and so on and so forth. One very interesting thing about journaling is, as you might have seen from our speakers so far, with Sister Roima, even with our host, Sister Afso, it's not like they went to varsity or college to study uh, literature or English on how to write. No, journaling is a hobby that can be picked on by anybody in whatever field you find yourself. It doesn't matter whether you're a medical doctor, an engineer, a business person, an entrepreneur. Anybody can pick up journaling because you can journal on any aspect of life. Whatever you choose to journal about. So that's the beautiful thing about journaling. And to begin journaling, if you're going the traditional way, that is, all you need is a pen and a paper. It's as simple as that. You can spice it up, but I'll come to that later. But if you just have a pen and a paper, you're good to go. And yeah, so what you intend to achieve with your writing is what you journal about. What exactly is it that you aim to achieve? What is your interest? What are you passionate about? So is it for personal growth? Is it to increase self-awareness? Is it to keep record of memories? Is it to track your eating habits? Nutritional guide on weight control, to keep food recipes for reflections and meditation? And like if it's during Ramadan, for instance, do you want to keep track of your Quran recitation, your fast, and then dua supplications? Like what exactly do you aim to achieve with your journaling? So that will guide you into your own choice. Then, so there's no wrong or right way to journal. Like I said, it is informal, which means that you can write it whichever and however you like it. Um, you don't have to stick to a particular format. You just do what works for you. So the content and style of journaling is completely up to you. And there are a lot of benefits to journaling. It can help you become a better writer, and you can be more productive through journaling. So I know some people might be thinking that, how do you build your capacity, your writing capacity by just journaling? But you can. You absolutely can. Like I said, if you stream it down to what you're passionate about or your purpose, what you intend to achieve by journaling, then you know that you can actually be productive with your journaling. And it stimulates your mind. It's like a brainstorming session because if you have an idea, if you write it down, that singular idea can develop into several ideas. And before you know it, a story might come up from there. So that's one of the benefits of journaling. So journaling helps you track your goals. It helps you to track what goals you've accomplished, your task. If you had any setbacks, you take note of them while you're trying towards achieving a goal. Did you encounter any setbacks? If you take note of them, you write them down, and then you can also think of what aided completion of that task, what made it easy for you. So when is your most productive time? If you're journaling, it also helps you to take track of time. Sometimes we do a lot of things. We just read from one activity to the other. We might not take note of how many hours or minutes we spend doing that task, and then we may not even take note of our productive time. Did you do that during the day? Was it early in the morning? Was it late in the evening? What time, of the day did you accomplish that task? So if you journal about these things, it helps you to take note of your habits, and then you'll be able to plan yourself according to your most productive time to journal. And if you encountered any strain, you'll be able to note down. Okay, like today when I was journaling, um, I had disruptions because I had to do so and so, or because somebody came in, like you take note of these things, you take note of it. So basically, it helps you to plan yourself, to get organized, and to focus on what you want to achieve. So you take note of what caused the strain, and you now ask yourself, how can I do better? You're putting down all this, you're noting this down in order to improve in whatever task you set forth to achieve. Um, you can also use a journal to vent your problems. Yeah, therapists also recommend writing or journaling for people who have sort of maybe depression or are facing anxiety, you know, because the moment you get in tune with your emotions and you're putting them down, it's reducing your stress level, because it's journaling is like you're having a conversation with yourself. Or if you say diary, like like people who keep diary maybe on a day-to-day basis or weekly basis, it's like you're having a conversation with yourself. So if you're if you're so stressed and then you're writing how you're stressed, you're releasing a bit of that anxiety. You are getting in tune with your emotions, so it's a good means of relieving stress and reducing anxiety. So, journaling helps you to stay inspired. It helps you get in tune with your emotions, like I just explained. And then you can use affirmations. You can write down your Quran quotes. You can set reminders. You can list your dua and supplications. You can track Ramadan fasting. You can record progress of your overall goals. you know, I mean, journaling it can be addictive. I must tell you, journaling can be addictive, and you wouldn't know until you try it. You wouldn't know. For me, I still prefer the old way. I prefer the traditional way. So I have tons of journals. Okay, let me save that. Let me save my journals. I'll show you the examples before the end of this session. Yeah. So now, like I said, one of some of the benefits of journaling are it helps you embark on self-discovery. There are things about yourself that you may not have taken note of, but by the time you keep writing them, like maybe daily or weekly, you come to see a pattern. You know, you discover more about yourself. Oh, okay, so I actually do this. If you take note of, if you have an inventory of the things you do every day, for instance, your habits, maybe the time you eat and the time you go out, what you do in the mornings, and the activities that take most of your time. If you keep track of everything you do, you eventually see a pattern, and then you'll be able to maybe organize or reorganize yourself and see how you can spend more time focusing on what can be more productive for you. For instance, if you set a goal, but unfortunately you find yourself lagging behind, maybe you spend more time on the social media or internet generally without realizing it. If you are using a bullet journal that has the time, maybe in the mornings between 10 a.m. to midday, this is what I do. You know, the moment you keep track of what you do and how you spend your time, you get to understand. that, oh, okay, this is a habit of mine and this is not something I would like to do, you can easily adjust and start shifting towards what something worthwhile. You wouldn't waste your time on what you don't want. So that's one of the benefits of journaling, and it's a fun activity. It can function as a first-hand document of life's key moments. While I was preparing for this session, I went through some of my old journals, and then this particular one I'm holding is old, and as you can see, it's torn over there. And I didn't even really, I didn't know. I just flipped to that page and I saw, what did I read? I read my entry for the day I had my last child, which was 8 years ago. She just got 8, like 3 days ago. So I didn't even remember that I had this with me. And I was surprised. I was like, oh, I didn't even know I put this down. So that's one of the fun things about journaling. Like, if you revisit your your past experiences, like something momentous. Once you see it, you feel that you get that excitement, like it's like it was happening fresh, like this was when it happened. So that's just one of the fun things about journaling. And another fun thing about journaling is that you can totally, totally, totally spice it up to your taste. If you're like me, you will start doing things like this. You start doing things like that, yeah. And then you can use colorful pens. You don't have to make it drab and so dry and boring and bland. You can totally, totally spice it up depending on how big your pocket is, how far you want to go. Me, I keep it very simple and easy and affordable. So, because journaling is a habit that you can develop, and it can really, really dig deep into your pockets, if you know what I mean. Some people spend a lot of money to buy these organizers, because the corporate world also uses it, especially with the bullet journals. The bullet journals is more of the choice of the professionals. We have all kinds of journal. You can use a plain notebook, you can use a simple notebook, like this is a notebook that would have been absolutely useless. You see the lines, they're even bigger than the regular lines for the notebooks we use. For me, I didn't want it to go to waste, and it was yeah, I think it's a TV station notebook, and the whole thing was there. And what did I do? I had this cut out, I had these stickers, and then I used this yellow paper and I used a sellotape to change it so it could look a bit fanciful, if you know what I mean. And you can do a whole lot of stuff. You can do your crafts, you can sketch. That's another beautiful thing about journaling. You can draw, even. You can draw, you can draw, you can write, you can sketch, so. And that can make you document whether that you are doing a digital journaling, or you're going the traditional way of pen and paper. You can just record your life events and revisit them later. And how can journaling be used for capacity building? Like I said, if you're looking at journaling as a hobby and a playful activity, you may not appreciate the fact that you can use it productively. So, journaling helps you to sharpen your observation skills. And how does that happen? If you carry a journal with you everywhere you go, like if you want to record your what you see in your environment, and you start observing things. If you're somebody who is already into journaling, like you're not a first time journaler or a beginner, and then you begin to look around you, the pictures you see, whether it is nature, whether is the whatever you see around you, the sound, the people, everything, you know, you observe them because you feel like I should write about this. So when you keep doing that, it pushes you to use your senses, your five senses, what you can smell in the environment. Maybe it's a hopeful smell or something you like. Like if it is nature, maybe there are flowers and the scent is so beautiful, you want to write about it, or the colors of the plants, for instance. And if it's a sea view, or if it's a city view and there are tall buildings, whatever you are seeing. So it sharpens your observation skills, because it helps you to bring your imagination to life by recording what you see around you. You notice the demographics. Maybe the older people, younger people of different races. It's a brown skin, white skin, black skin, whatever, what race. So it sharpens your mind, and it improves your observation skills. So that's one of the way that it can help you productively. And when you do all that, like the pros will tell you, the show don't tell part of your fictional writing. You develop it from there. Because you're not just writing like a prose, you're just writing, but it also brings the images, it brings them to life. So, and then journaling helps you find beauty in the mundane. It just goes to buttress what I just mentioned now. The most insignificant thing around you uh, can, it can become something that will give you an idea to write. Is the most insignificant thing, something so trivial that you might not even pay attention to. Maybe you're just outside, and then somebody just drove recklessly past you, you know, and you're thinking that this person, and then you turned the other way, and you saw something else that caught your attention. Nobody else is noticing that, because everybody is looking at the person who just drove past recklessly. So your imagination is broadened. Your imagination, if you're somebody who might have the flair for fictional writing, all these things will work in your favor, because the ideas you are putting down can be developed into a story at some point. So, journaling can transform from being a hobby to something that can improve your writing capacity. Um, yeah. So it also helps you to develop writing discipline. Writing on a consistent basis helps generate content for your fictional and non-fictional writing. It helps you develop a more structured writing, and it gets easier the more you write. Uh, the pros will tell you that you build your writing, you build your writing muscles. Like some people are not really interested in writing, because now in the digital world, I mean, who wants to write? I do. I know I'm amongst the few people who still go the traditional way. But then you find that these days, not many people write. So if you write and you do it on a regular basis, as your journaling, your journal, if you do your journaling more than once a day, or even if you do it on a daily basis, it is a habit. It's becoming a habit. It becomes part of you. So when you do that, you're building consistency, and that's something that you need if eventually you're going to turn this hobby into something productive. So it helps you to develop a more structured form of writing, and then it gets easier. Like if you're a beginner person who is journaling, before if you do it consistently within a month, you're going to notice the difference. As a matter of fact, if you're so into journaling, it can get to a point where you feel incomplete if you haven't entered your inventory for the day, if you have not written anything for the day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You'll be feeling like something is missing. Yeah, so it helps you to write in a more structured way, and it helps you develop consistency, which are the skills that you need if eventually you want to make your writing productive. um how do you journal productively? What do you need to do to be productive with your journaling? So you write at a scheduled time. Are you a morning person? Are you a night owl? What time of the day do you have to yourself to be able to, scribble something down? So you need to schedule a time. If you schedule a time, you're not just doing it randomly, then you'll be able to write a journal productively. Then write when your mind and mood are altered by an event or an incident, when you're tired, busy, feeling low, excited, and so on. Because writing generally can can be used in different ways. When you're feeling excited, if you're somebody who is fond of journaling, if you can just pick your notes without anybody even thinking. Like if there's nobody around for you to discuss with, you write how you're feeling. You write it down. Whether you're excited, and then or you're feeling low, and then maybe you're tired or anything, write about it. Write about it. Get in tune with that emotion and write about it during that period, exactly the way you're feeling it. Remember when I started, I said that it is an altered uh, writing. It is unfiltered. It is exactly what you're feeling, like raw, crude. So when you do that, you can write productively. So, and then you can try the morning pages. There are people, like I said, some people they are just the morning type. When they are like good to go. So if you maybe after Fajri or before then, maybe that's when you're most productive. Maybe that's when your mind is clearest, and that's when you are most likely to write, uninhibited. So you can do that. If it works for you, fine. Then that means you're going to stick to writing in the morning. So just observe how you feel when you write in the morning. Are you at your best? Do you feel upbeat about it? Or is it that you're forcing yourself? Are you dragging to write? Just observe your mood. And that's how you get to know if you're someone that can try the morning pages and stick to it or not. So you take your journal with you everywhere you go, because you never can tell when the idea will pop in. So um the size of your journals depends on what you want it to be. If you're going to be journaling, are you somebody who is going to write lengthy words? Are you someone who is that expressive? Like if you really think that you can come up with a lot of ideas, you might not want a small sized journal. This is a notebook I got in 2005. There were four of these. It came in a pack. I was just fortunate. Yeah, I think this was the first set of journals I got for myself. Okay, I wasn't home then. I was away from home, and then so I really didn't use it for much because I was taking notes on website, the some Islamic supplications. So I wanted something portable that I could put into my bag and good to go. So that was why. But the Bilikis that that most people know as a writer, I can go all the way. Like I'm like the epistle type, but I can, mostly I can write a very lengthy note. So I don't really have much of this size. I think this is A5, if I'm not mistaken. This is an A5 notebook. So I don't really have much of this. So I mostly go for maybe medium sizes, something like that. So, and my medium size comes in this is the medium size of my notebooks that I use for journaling. This is the medium size, you know yeah. And because this can fit into my bag, I like big bags in any case. So take your journal with you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, find. And if you're not going to go the traditional way, if you're going to use your phone, then it's okay, but have something that you can use if the idea comes up. Yeah, so use your writing prompts. Doing that, you just ditch writer's block. Writing prompts is so wonderful, it's so great. And if I haven't mentioned it, if you're looking for writing prompts, even if you don't want to use Google, go on to Pinterest. You get writing prompts there. It gives you an idea. Like if you're stuck for ideas and you don't even know where to begin, and you don't want to stare into a blank page, just looking for ideas, use the writing prompts. Writing prompts works wonderfully well. And then you can extract ideas from your experiences, thoughts, perceptions, and what have you. Like a memoir doesn't just uh, come to be in a day. It doesn't just come to be. Like in my case now, the first time I thought of uh, writing a memoir was I think maybe 2007. Yeah, 2007. Because I realized that I've had these long years of writing, which I basically didn't even, think anything of, like, could it be productive? I didn't think of that. I started journaling while I was 10. Yeah, while I was 10 years old. I just saw an old diary, and it had a hard cover with a false leather, and then I took it and I started writing. I was in primary school at the time, and then so I've always written my thoughts down. And so before I realized it, it became a habit. Whether it was an old notebook or anything, I would write. I would write out my heart. I would write whatever I was feeling. It was more like a conversation with myself. Like so. Um, Over time, I realized that okay, I was writing so much about my experiences as a child growing up, and Alhamdulillah, I think I was fortunate to have the kind of memory that was serving me right in that respect. I remembered a lot of things, and then over the years, I started thinking before I eventually considered a traumatic experience, which I didn't think I was going to write about, and then I just developed the courage eventually. And then I decided that this is 2021. I made up my mind fully to write the story, not long ago. And yeah, so before you realize it, it could be anything, whether it was while you're graduating from school, as a youngster, as a young person, your experiences, life lessons, the things you learned, lessons that came easy, the ones that came really, really rough, and the loss of a loved one, a blessing Allah gave you, your accomplishments, it could be anything. So your life experiences, before you know it, if you try to put everything together, if you have been journaling about it, by the time you put everything together, you do a bit of work to refine it, you can end up writing a memoir. Do you get what I mean? You can write your autobiography depending on the accomplishments you've had in life, your age, and you know milestones covered, and so journaling can be that productive. You can build your writing capacity by journaling. It's not just for fun. It's not just for fun. You can improve your craft to build your writing capacity, and you can do so productively. Absolutely, no doubt about it. You can carve a niche for yourself, like the session that I spoke about by genre. I think it was normally, like focusing on one aspect. If you want to be a professional, you never know. Maybe you are even gifted to be a poet. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know yet. And you can go through your thoughts and you begin to read, oh, these words rhymed. I didn't even realize that. You can review it, and before you know it, you can compile that to publish a book. And, you can definitely build yourself in that respect if uh, that's the gift that you've got. And then just start scribbling. Just start scribbling and see where it takes you. Start scribbling and see where it takes you. So I'm going to just give a very short example of some of the. If you're going digital, you can also journal using the what's it called, the internet. If you're not writing, you can use some apps. So these are some of the digital apps that you can use for journaling, and you can get them from Google Play, the Play Store. I'm not so sure about Apple Store. I'm not so sure, because sometimes I realize that some apps you can get them on Android phones, but when it comes to the Apple phones, it can give you some problems. So I really can say about that. So there's a black notepad, there's Evernote, then journal prompts. Actually, there's an app that's called journal prompts. You can get it on Play Store. And then there's Reflectly. It's a diary, it's a gratitude journal, and it's also a mood tracker. And I think we've come to the end of this session. Yeah, that's the end. And then, so if you need more ideas about journaling, you can always use the Google search to get ideas. Like I said, it does not matter. You can be an accountant, you can be an engineer, you can be a stay-home mom. You know, write your daily activities depending on what you want to, you might even get ideas from what you do at home. For instance, if you're a stay-home mom, maybe like you're a mother, like the last session talked about writing children's books. If you're someone who maybe you love kids and you have so many experiences raising your own children and you've scribbled it down, these ideas can be developed into a children's book. So, and then if somebody with a very very vivid imagination, if you have a flair for words, and then you can describe images, bring images to life, your thoughts, ideas, and then you can write a non-fiction. I mean, you can write a fiction, you can write a non-fiction, you can write a fiction. uh, so whichever way you decide to go about your journaling, whether you are sketching it out, you're writing and you're sketching, you are dribbling it, you are just anything. If you want to take it further, you can always do that, because over time you would have built your consistency. So thank you so much. I have some interesting quotes about journaling. Stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. Tony Robbins. And you have your brains in your head. That's Dr. Seuss, and we already know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us in the Quran every time, can we not reason? Can we not reason? Because Allah has given us the blessing. And then why would you want to waste such blessing? Like as a Muslim, Allah is asking you to use it because He has given us, He has given us that intellect. So we need to make use of it positively to impact others, to benefit humanity. And yeah, and then there's this other one that says the habit of persistence is the habit of victory. That's by Albert Kaufman. And we know that one of the deeds that Allah loves the most are the deeds that are done consistently. So if you build a habit of journaling, you're consistent with it, you can always do it productively over time. And then setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible by Tony Robbins. So I pray that, okay, just before I go, I wanted to show you an example of what a journal, bullet journal might look like. This isn't a typical one, actually. They call this one a time watch. What is it? Okay, a 6-page day multi-year. So multi-year, it has calendars. Like I said, this is an old one. This is very old. I've had it for over a decade. So um if you want to start, don't stress yourself. If you are going to be writing traditionally like I do, you can invest in notebooks. Even if you have something very dry and boring, I've told you what I did with this one. You can do that. You can also spice it up. You can get very playful. I get playful with journaling. I use stickers. I know these are for kids. Yeah, I use stickers, and then I use colored pens. Yeah, my broken cup was reused for this. So I use color pens, and you can make it fun. And then you can improvise. If you are using a plain notebook, you can improvise and use page markers. You can use page markers, and then you notice whatever color you choose. Maybe you have a section for each color, you can do that. And then you can even use stickers, note stickers. You can use note stickers, just spice it up so it's not so boring. You see? So you can just tear, maybe just take one page, you can stick it on your notebook. You can stick it on your notebook and then you write over it. You write across it. I think I have one that I did something like that, but I'm just not so sure. But like I said, you can totally make it fun. Depends on what you want. You decide. You can make it fun so it doesn't look so drab, like. And if you like vintage, I told you journals comes in different forms, shapes, sizes, and everything. If you love vintage, yeah. Did you see that? I didn't use this. I've had this since 2007. But I used the second one. I was writing some poems and I was playful with it. You see that? That's the kind of sticker I was talking about. So you can do that. You just stick it, use a glue to stick it on your notebook if it's just plain, and then you write over it. I use stickers and I use colored pens. This wasn't for prose or anything. This is just for poetry. Yeah, unpublished poems. And yeah, so and I have a drawer journal. I have a drawer journal. This is my drawer journal. I I had to put the sticker. I had studs and then everything fell off. So this is my drawer journal. Depending on what exactly you want. So yeah, that's me trying to write Arabic. Yeah. So when you can use different pens. You can structure it whichever way you like, anyhow you want it. Just do it like that. And then there are some that have the grits, like it depends on, like maybe you're doing something like an accountant or something. This looks a bit more like a bullet journal. It has a week of so things to do. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the days of the week. You have your dates there. So you can use this to track whatever you do. If you're going to be doing it daily, so you can use something like that. I didn't use it for that purpose, by the way. I'm just showing you, like, so you can use it to organize your thoughts, track your activities, whatever you do. And yeah, that's about it. I hope that with these
Ah, Sister
nice
Balkis,
looking journals, I
I'm
have been
sorry to
able to
cut you short.
convince you that journaling is a habit that anybody can pick up and you can do so productively. You can build a writing capacity by journaling. Absolutely. So may Allah Ta'ala uh, bless us with more knowledge, useful knowledge, and reward the organizer of this event. I pray that it's beneficial for us and for you. And سبحان ربك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك ونتوب إليه سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة
Alhamdulillah.
الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for that amazing fun session. Now, just before we end this, can you see the comment I am showing on the screen? Can you see the comment? Sarima is asking if you can raise the journals you were showing us up. She couldn't see it well. So she's asking if you can raise it up.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Oh, shame. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, I'm going to have to. Okay, can you see this? Is it visible now? Is it visible? Can you see it? Hello, Sister Afso, can you? Is this one visible?
I can see it. I can see it, but I don't know if Sister Rahima is still here. I don't know if she
Okay,
can see it
okay,
now. Yes,
yeah,
but it's. I think since you've raised it up now, she should be able to, see
okay,
the whole thing.
yeah. So
Exactly.
so things to do. So that one has things to do. It has days of the week. So this has greets. It has the greets, and so that's just one of it. And then the other one, I said this was my drawer journal. I spiced it up a little with some stickers. You can get playful with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's my drawer journal. It's just a plain. It's just a lined notebook, and like I said, you can
Oh,
really get playful with it. You can really get playful with it. Use colored pens. Spice it up. It makes it fun. We don't want drab, we don't want dry. And yeah, and I said if it's a plain notebook, you can use stickers. You can use stickers like that and use sellotape, to just stick it on. You can use sellotape, you can look for a plain paper, and this is just for a notebook like this that would ordinarily have looked so dry and uninteresting. And we want it to be fun, okay? So that's it. And then I said you could use page markers. You can use page markers. You know? And you can even go as far as using sticky notes. You can use sticky notes. What I do with these sticky notes, if I'm going to use it, is I'll take it out, I put it across the book, and then I use glue to stick the other part, and then I write across it. I write over it. You can use different colors of sticky notes. And then there are some papers come in, they come in different colors. Though these ones are a bit hard, it's like a cardboard. Like if you have papers like this also, the lighter ones, okay, yeah, something like this. This light ones, this comes in different. This is a light paper. They come in different colors. So if you have something plain and you just don't want it to look so dry, you can use sticky notes. Use the glue, stick it on your notes, and you write across it. So makes it fun. And there are big ones too. There are some that are this big. I did all of that. I told you, you can't be dry. I just can't imagine my journals being dry. So this is a big one. I believe this is an A4 size. Yeah. So use is it's also got lines, but I spice it up by using different color pens. That's what I usually do. So and this just my thoughts. You know, that's my thoughts. Yeah, so they come in different shapes and sizes, but the one that is mostly used by professionals, like I said, are these ones that are the bullet journals. Some call it organizer. This is a small one, but they're bigger sizes, and then they have days of the week. Like this one says planners and charts, diary, notes, to do, A to Z. You can totally use it according to what you intend to achieve with your journaling. So I hope that I've oppressed you enough with my journals.
now, Alhamdulillah, yes, you have. My sister Rahima has already replied. She says, yes, I can see it. And for the first one you showed, the gold one, she says, I love the golden cover.
Oh, okay, Jazakallah khairan. It was a gift. See. I'm the person that you will tell me you are going to China. I will tell you buy me a journal,
Ah,
buy me station. I'm telling you, this was a
wow.
gift from my younger cousin. She was in the States 2 years ago, and I told her, I said, Auntie Billy, I said, Sharp, Amira journal. Like I was on a case. I like, do not return. Oh, she was in Nigeria. Me, I'm here. He said, I said, whichever, whatever. Somebody will come to Nigeria and I will ask them to bring it for me. So she
Wow.
was the one who got me this. She was the one I really loved it. She was the one who got me this one. So
It
thank
is
you. Jazakallah khair.
beautiful.
Yeah, this
Um,
ones, you see, these are usually the ones I get over here. So when I see them in different colors like that, I just buy them. you know I buy them like that whenever. So don't think that I bought this in a day. Oh. I buy them. You know, you said I was telling you that I have some from 2005, 2007. My
Yeah.
oldest diary here actually is from 2004. My oldest
Wow.
diary, yeah, it's from 2004. So, this is it. This is a fountain trust. I think this is a fountain trust bank. It's from 2004. You see, this is my oldest. So there are things that I accumulated and acquired over time. It's not like I
Mm.
bought everything. You understand? I have from 2005. I have from like these brown ones now, like these ones that I'm keeping, like treasured ones that I'm not even touching. I got them from 2007. And I usually date my notebooks when I buy them. I got this, and I have not come across them ever since. And that's why I haven't written anything in this one. So like for me, that is just it. I mean, before I think of buying a shoe or a bag or anything, I would buy
You buy a
journals.
journal.
I'm telling you, so it's habitual. So that's just it. That's just it. Yeah.
Sarahima says we are on the same wagon.
Is it? Oh, interesting. Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah.
Maybe
That's good to
you
know.
can schedule a journal party. The year I got married. What year was that?
Yeah, yeah. So
Sarahima
that
said,
would be interesting.
it will be, won't
That would
it?
be interesting. Everybody
Sharima
starts
says, wow, the
talking.
year I got married. I think she was referring to when you said you bought a journal
Okay,
in the year
okay.
2005 or
In
something.
2005. Yeah, so I got that in 2005. Yeah. I got it in 2005. Even this old diary is from 2005. This diary is from 2005. So I have old stuff like that. Same with this little drawer book. This my drawer book. This was my original and first drawer notebook, and it's from 2005. So I have old ones. You can see it's torn and tattered, but I'm still keeping it.
Um, Another comment from Sarahima says, I love journaling. I wish I can do it daily.
Oh, mashallah, I know the feeling. Truth
Mm,
is, I also don't journal on a daily basis like I used to, through confession. I, but it's a part of me. I don't think any week can go by that I will not write. I think that's about the longest. That's about the longest. Could be on anything. That's why I always have different journals. Like I lost a friend in 2016, and I mean, and because I'm far away from home, I didn't even have anybody here to mourn along with. This is an old friend, and then so I just picked one of my journals, and it was this one I picked at the time. So this is like a grief book. It was like I didn't even use it for any other thing since then. Like I was trying to. I said every time I think of that person, I would write. So I used this to let out my emotions, like the way I was feeling it, because I mean, there was nobody around to grieve with, and it was such a great loss for me, for that friend. And since then, I just kept it. I think by 2018, I eventually was at a better place, so I stopped writing. So I mean, whatever it is, I will journal for whatever I like. I'll use
exactly.
the
You
journal.
designate the
Yeah.
journal so you know which one to pick up to write what in.
Yeah, the memories that I want to recall, the ones that
Mm,
I know can give me the feel good, I can revisit it at any time. Like this,
mm-hmm.
this one now, this was just me being playful as usual. So this, you see, they wrote Bubble Girl. I mean, you'll be imagining what is an old lady like me doing with.
Old lady.
But you see, this is something I'm supposed to buy for my daughter, but this I got for myself. But it's been a while actually. 20. Oh yeah, this is also from 2007, 30th of March. I usually date my journal, so this is from 2007 also. I didn't even know, but I wrote poems in it. So anytime I pick it up, I know it's Islamic poems that I wrote in it.
Mm,
So that's the content, and then I have some Quranic verses behind it. But basically, it was just the Islamic poems that I wrote in it. So, you know, like whatever suits your fancy, whatever tickles your fancy, whatever you feel like, you just pick it for different purposes. So
exactly. Journaling.
yeah.
I also journal, but I also do not do it as I used to. I don't do it as I
Mhm.
used to.
Yeah,
My
with time, there's so
method.
much to
Yeah.
do. It's so much to do as a mother. As I mean, you're an entrepreneur. There's a lot of things, like combining all the roles and juggling everything might not be easy. So for
Mm,
me now, I used to do it on a daily basis. Like I would every single day, and it wasn't a diary. These are notebooks, but I would write every single day when I had the time, whatever, no matter how short. So what I usually do, for me, I don't do it in the mornings. Like some people do, they keep the morning pages. I don't do that. I wait until later at night when everybody is gone to bed, even if it's just 5 minutes that I have to myself, and then I put down what
mm.
I've done, what's happened during the day. So my own, I save it for last before I go to bed at night. That's what I usually do. But I got a time that I wasn't able to do that, like
Mm.
so. But you find that if it's part of you, even if you go for a long while without journaling, you still come back to it. You pick it
We'll
up.
come back to it exactly.
Exactly. That's one thing about it.
Yes, and it like you said, it is a it's a great tool to help build a writer's writing muscles, because even if you believe that you cannot put in time to write your
Mm,
non-fiction or your fiction or whatever, just journal and write about your thoughts. And
exactly.
people usually do not um categorize journaling as a kind of writing, and it is,
Yeah, I
because
know
as long
because
as
because it's informal, it's
it's
unstructured, but
informal, exactly.
but you
Exactly.
can, you work with a professional, they can refine it, and then you can make it into something like some people like to write about what they cook or what they are eating. I
Hmm.
mean, can somebody like that end up writing a cookbook?
A
And
cookbook,
some people,
exactly, a recipe
yeah,
book. Yes.
yeah, you write a recipe book, and then if you're somebody who is into fitness, you're taking note of this every day. Like what did I eat today? Like what food makes me feel better. Like you're taking note of that. Before you know it, you can end up. So you can even write self-help books. You can write
Hmm.
academic books. You can write
Exactly.
academic books because you are noting these things down. And after a while, you can come and look and wow, I've got one, two, three, four. You're thinking, okay, come to think of it, why? Like this thing could be more. And then you just work with a professional, and then they edit it. You have it more structured, and before you know it, you have a book. So it can be turned into something productive if that's what you choose to do with it. If you're not just doing it as a hobby, you can always transform it. You can always transform it,
Hmm.
depending on the interest that you're focusing on.
Focus on exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. And you
mm.
showed us one of your journals, that a poem journal. You need to also
Oh, yeah,
publish a collection of poems. We'll be
yeah, yeah.
looking that soon, inshallah. Yeah,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
inshallah,
I'll make
inshallah,
it easy, inshallah.
inshallah.
I love to read your poetry.
Inshallah, inshallah. I'll try and compile them. I'll try and compile. I've lost some along the way, but I mean, these ones at least they are here. So inshallah, I'll
Wow,
upload
it's
some
a
of them
commendable
and
job.
hang them up in.
2005 is like how many years ago? Is that not over? You know how many years ago? Hey, I still have them. It's remarkable.
Oh
Remarkable.
yeah, I do. Oh
Very
yeah, I
proud of
do.
it.
I do. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Alright. So
Yeah,
Sister Rahima says, thank you so much, Sister Balkis, for the value.
Mashallah, Jazakallah khairan. It's
Right,
my pleasure.
Sister as
Pleasure.
says, Assalamu alaikum. Says Assalamu
Wa
alaikum.
alaikum, wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Um, okay, I think we've come to the end of this amazing session. It was fun. It was fun, looking at how we got creative with your journals and learning that journaling is, contrary to popular belief, journaling is a form of writing, and it is a way that you can build your writing muscles. EA is saying, Assalamu alaikum. I don't know who
Wa
that
alaikum
is.
salam wa
So
barakatuh.
if you're coming late, you can just, watch the replay later. It was a fun session. It was a fun session. MashaAllah.
Jazakallah khairan.
So, Sabalkis, I'm going to ask you to, if you can give us one final word, one last word before we take a break.
So what I would just like to say is that, you know how we procrastinate about doing something and we don't do it. Like I would like to encourage you to just start, like all the sessions we've had so far is opening our minds to possibilities, like things we are not even taking cognizance of. And you can just start, and before you know it, maybe you had an income, another stream to your source of income by writing. And writing can totally be productive, like, so we tend to trivialize. I know writing this. No, you don't know. And sometimes you even have the talent in there. You just need to tap into it. So I hope that before we end this conference this year, that you would have gotten tune with yourself more, and then discover more about yourself, and then add, add more to the knowledge that you had before. May Allah make it uh, a source of beneficial knowledge for both of us, the listeners, the watchers, and the organizers, and everyone, and may not be used against us on the day of Qiyamah.
Ameen.
So,
Ameen.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you for the
Ameen.
opportunity.
Jazakillah khairan. So last word from Sister Balkis. She says, you just start. You never know what you got inside of you. You never know. So just start. Now, and with that, we've come to the end of the third session for day 2. I will see you at 4:30 GMT, which is 5:30 West African time, for our last
Yes,
session for the day, which is the 6th
inshallah.
in the conference. And that
Inshallah.
will be anchored by Sister Aisha. She'll be talking about the 5 commandments for every writer. Now, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section and we'll get to it. I will send them to Sister Balkis, and she'll answer. We'll send them to. Just drop them in the comment section, and we will get to them. So, assalamu alaikum. See you in a
Yes,
bit.
sir.
Assalamu
Wa
alaikum.
alaikum
Bye.
salam.